Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tino Fest 1989, aka Tino Sports 89. Yes, I'm here to talk about the NFL Week 10. I know I'm late. It's been past 10 weeks for the NFL weeks, and I'm here to talk about it finally 10 weeks later. And yeah, first game I'm here to talk about is the Miami Dolphins versus the Tennessee Titans. The Miami Dolphins, just to let you know that they lost two quarterbacks, and I'll get into that right now. Well, first drive was the Miami Dolphins. Shaq Pennington's first game, and in the year he started, and then he got hurt, and he was questionable for the game. And guess what? He's out for the season. And then the next game, and the next drive, Shaq Haney again started. He did some yards. He made a touchdown pass to Anthony Fasano or the bomb best. Then all of a sudden, Shahani, and later on in the drive, he got hurt, and he's questionable. His knees, he injured his knee during that play, during one of those plays in the third quarter, and he's out for the season also. And Tyler Thigpen did the work for Miami. He did very good in this game, and I give it to Miami because of this. And let me tell you, and Tennessee Titans now. Um, it was started off with Kerry Collins and Chris Johnson, Justin Gage, and the season debut for the Tennessee Titans coming out of the Minnesota Vikings, Randy Moss, and he had a starting job, and he didn't catch no ball until the fourth quarter. That's when he got the ball, and he didn't make no touchdowns. They attempting on his passes, and they just threw it over him, and he didn't catch none of those passes because once yet again, um, Monte Davis always in coverage on him. They double coverage Randy Moss, and Randy Moss he struggled catching those two double when somebody's covering him. And Al Harris made his Miami Dolphins debut as well, and yeah, he made his debut. He did okay. He didn't show much, but he got his first game. First game in the Dolphins, and yeah, and because Young came in and then he got hurt also. And then they had the third string quarterback starting. And, they didn't do much. Chris Johnson was mostly carrying the team, and Kirkland Finnegan did the pick out of Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall had a bad game that day. He was disappointed through the football. He was mad. And then And then the Dolphins came up with a victory, 17-29 at Miami. Finally, to get their first home winning game, and finally they get their first, and they're right now 5-4. Their standings are 5-4. All right, the next game is like another AFC East matchup against the Detroit Lions, the 2-7, 2-6 Detroit Lions versus the 0-8 Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills did some good plays. To get this one, it was a very close game. Detroit Lions were dominating, but then the Buffalo Bills were doing more. They came back, and the Buffalo Bills picked up this victory. And yeah, they're now 1-8, and the Detroit Lions are 2-7. And the next game I'm here to talk about is the Minnesota Vikings. Well, yeah, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. It was Brett Favre's game. Um, he would have had this game, but he threw three interceptions. Didn't do much. Adrian Peterson got some yards. The Bears, the defense were doing so good. They were the one who scored most of the touchdowns. And Jay Cutler had a bad game. He's got two interceptions, I believe, two interceptions. Um, this was not the best game there, but I gotta say that the Minnesota Vikings, Brad Childress, they're having a little drama about Brad Childress. They should fire him. I think his time is up for Minnesota because I don't see him next season, Minnesota Vikings coaching them. I think he's gonna lose his job in Minnesota, and the Bears pick up that win. And Right now, the Minnesota Vikings are 2-7, 3-6, and the Chicago Bears they're in first place in their division, I believe, second place. So they're like 5 and 5 and 4, yeah, 5-4. And the next game we're here to talk about is the New York Jets. The New York Jets at Cleveland. They play against each other. His brother, Rex Ryan, and um, his brother, Rob Ryan. You know, they were going to make fun of each other and all that. The twins. And to prove who's the better twin brother as coaching and defensive coordinator. And it was a very good game. It was like Cleveland, New York, Cleveland, New York, it was a good game. And Mark Sanchez did some passes to Jericho Coltrane. Then he passes to Braylon Edwards. And let Daniel Thomas make yards. Um, yeah, and then when Colt McCoy did some passing yards to Mas, Mas, I can't pronounce his name well, Masasaku. I don't know, I can't pronounce it well. And the Browns did more of defense than offense. But Colt McCoy, he's gonna have a future for his career. He's gonna have a great future. I see Colt McCoy being a starting quarterback and help out the Cleveland Browns and go to the next year. I hope he doesn't become a bust because that guy is so good, Colt McCoy, and having a good start for 2 starts, he's doing very good. First last weekend he started, he beat the New England Patriots by 20 points. That tells you that Colt McCoy is gonna have a great future and be a great starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And Joshua Cribbs got injured, so and then the New York Jets got the ball and it went overtime 20-20. He passes to Jericho Coltrane. They got a first down, but he got hurt in that game. But he limped and he caught that pass. Wow, that was great. Then they Nick Folk missed a lot of field goals, and the Jets survived from this game 26-20. The Jets are 7-2, and the Browns are 5. They're 3-6. And the Jets they won by a touchdown via Marshall's pass to San Antonio Holmes and made that touchdown that's what saved the day for the New York Jets. And they're 7-2. They're still the best team in the NFL right now. The New York Jets. They're the best in the AFC East, in the AFC, and the NFL period. Even though, Dolphins and Jets are rivals, but the Jets they put up a good fight. And the next game is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Indianapolis Colts at Cincinnati. And wow, Peyton Manning scored the first touchdowns in the first quarter, 14-0, then 17-0. Then the Bengals came back. T.O. scored got some catches. Ocho Cinco and Jordan Sibley, Jermaine Gresham. They weren't doing that good, but they came back in that game. So the Indianapolis Colts pick up that 123-17. It was a very close game, and Colts right now their record is 6-4. The Cincinnati Bengals are 2-7 right now. So the Cincinnati Bengals are in a hot seat right now. I don't know if they're gonna save. If they're gonna stay, I don't know. One of those guys are gonna stay in the Bengals, T.O. or Ocho Cinco or Carson Palmer. We don't know yet. And the next game I'm here to talk about is the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston Texans didn't do. It's looking like Texans are doing good in the first quarter, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars got it back and made a touchdown. And the Texans started looking like the Houston Texans we've seen back in 2002, from 2002 to 2007, 2006 actually, when they were having a bad year. And right now the Texans are We're like 3-6, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are 5-4. So the Jacksonville Jaguars lead 31-24, and that's the final score for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. And the next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers. I got not much to say about this game, but I gotta say that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in second place in the NFC South, and they keep doing it this way. They could be the heavy sleepers. They could be the sleepers for the NFC South, because Tampa Bay had a bad year last year, and this year they're gonna do better. They did way better. They improved from last season's NFL season, and this season's Josh Freeman is doing very good for his quarterback position. And yeah, the final score was 31-16. All right, Kansas City Chiefs against Denver Broncos. Wow, what a start! What a bad start for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs score only like 10 points, and Denver scored 42-10. I'm like, holy fucking shit! I'm like, wow, what a blowout! That could have been a blowout right there. But then Kansas City came back for a little bit. Tim Tebow started actually. That's good. Tebow, great starting job because Kyle Orton probably got hurt, and then Tebow took over and whatever. And then Kansas City only scored 29 points, 29-49. That was 20-point loss, and that's gonna come back and hunt Kansas City after that loss. I'm just saying, because Kansas City's the number one position, the number one spot for that AFC West. They're looking strong. They were strong, and now they're looking weaker. Now they lost against the last place Denver Broncos that were last place. And they pretty much upset it, Kansas City in that game. And the next game is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks pick up the win, 36-18. That was the final score. Then the next game was the St. Louis Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. Troy Smith gets to start. It was a very good game. I like this game. Sam Bradford did good in this game. No interceptions in this game. It was very surprising. I didn't get to watch the game, but it was enjoyable to watch. And the 49ers won by a field goal, 23-20, final score. So the 49ers won the second straight win from that loss. And right now the 49ers are still alive. They hope to make they hope magic, and hope they're hoping for the best for them to make it somewhere in the wild card at least, or the playoffs. But I highly doubt they're gonna go to the playoffs. Maybe the wild card if they stay alive and do what they're doing, and they lose. And some NFC teams lose the games. I see the 49ers being that wild card spot. They'll be in last place, but in the wild card. All right, the next game I'm here to talk about is the next game I'm here to talk about is the Dallas versus New York Giants. Dallas was scoring and kicking. All I know that I saw this game, and the Dallas Cowboys were kicking ass and taking names against the New York Giants. They came back, and the Dallas Cowboys, they got rid of Wade Phillips. They got rid of him. After they got rid of him, they proved that with Jason Garrett they will do good. And guess what? They got their second win in the NFL. Their first win with Jason Garrett as debut head coach, interim head coach. Finally, they got a win, and the Cowboys and the Giants came back. Eli Manning struggled a little, and right now the Giants are 6-3, while the Dallas Cowboys are 2-6, 2-8 actually, 2-8. And right now the Dallas Cowboys, I don't see them going nowhere this year. I'm sorry. They need to rebuild that team all over again. They gotta start from scratch from the beginning.